This fly is called a bluebottle, and it is the bluebottle fly, also known as a flesh fly or a blow fly. It is from Mary Orvis Marbury's book, Favorite Flies and Their Histories. I'm tying it from the illustration in her book. I don't know why anybody would want to do a Musca vomitoria. Today it's called Calliphora vomitoria. It is a fly that lays its eggs in rotting flesh or dung, and primarily a land fly, sometimes considered a pest. It's about twice the size of a house fly. So I'm tying it on a number 14 hook. That'll give me that about a 1/2 inch size. I'm using claret thread because that's the color of the head in the illustration. I'm tying in a gold oval tinsel for the ribbing. This fly does have a metallic blue abdomen, so I'm using this blue dubbing, and I've mixed in a little bit of metallic dubbing. It is interesting that it is a fly that is currently used in agriculture as an alternate pollinator. So it's not like it's a complete pest. I'm just a little puzzled as to how it came to be a fishing fly, because it's really not a fly that lives by or in water. So many of our flies that we imitate in our tying are aquatic at some stage in their life. This one not, but it is one of the flies in Mary's book, Favorite Flies and Their Histories, and as part of this project to try to sort of imitate the flies that she tied for her book, I'm tying it. So I've got maybe more sparkle in there than I really want, but that's all right, I think. To maybe trim some of that dubbing out, clean that up a little bit before I wrap the I don't want it to be real buggy, as that does have a very, in nature, in real life, this fly does have a very controlled abdomen. So I'm going to take that tinsel and I'm going to counter wrap that. I'll wrap a couple wraps just behind, just to kind of create a little tag with it, and then try to spiral wrap up over the body. That also helps with creating the metallic look. And then wrap in over the top of that tinsel a couple times, 3 times. Wrap underneath of it to secure it. And then I can clip it out and try to do a little bit more cleanup here before I put the wings and front hackle. The front hackle is just to imitate the legs. Okay. For the wings, I am using this dark dun cape. The illustration really shows more black, but I think this is going to work. I don't have any, haven't made a point of finding any black, dark black feathers. It's a fairly long wing in the illustration, although in real life this fly looks more like a housefly, flat, clear wings. But I'm not tying from nature as much as I am tying from the illustration in Mary's book. So I want to stay somewhat faithful to that and try to split those two two feather tips and tie them in. And then I'm going to just go ahead and use the butt end of that same feather, one of the feathers that I pulled the tip out of, and strip off the fuzz at the bottom and then cut that so I have just a little tip to tie in with. I didn't leave the barbules, so hopefully it will stay tied in. And grab that with my hackle plier and do a couple wraps, thinking it doesn't need a whole lot more than a couple wraps of front hackle. This is a heavy hook, so it's going to fish really more like a wet fly. So 3 over the top, let go of that. I find that if I wet my fingers before I pull back on everything, it helps to pull back cleanly. Then I can wrap up over the butt end of that hackle feather and then just try to grab that hackle feather and snap it out. Put a whip finish on it, and then I'll head cement the head. I do use a diluted Goop for my head cement. It will make that thread look darker initially, but as it dries, it will dry clear. And it does soak in well. Just dip my needle in my jar and grab a drop. And then I have a hackle feather that I'm going to pass through the eye just to make sure that it's clean. And I think I have an okay copy of the Bluebottle fly in Mary Orvis Marbury's book, Favorite Flies and Their Histories.